George Washington Carver. Born and raised as David. George Washington Carver was born in Missouri in 1864 during the Civil War. George was born in a South person, but when the Civil War ended, he and his older brother Jim were freed. However, both of their parents had died, and the brothers were still very young. Jim was 6 and George was only 1. They stayed living with Moose and Susan Carver, the couple who had 8 of them. Jim worked with Moose in the field, but George was often sick and stayed at home to help Susan. She taught him to read, write, and sew. What George liked best, though, was to garden and explore nature. Learning on his own, Carver taught him about plants and animals. He wanted to go to school and learn even more, but many schools at that time were strict. It meant that white and black students could not go to the same school. Since the nearby school didn't allow black students, George left the Carver home for another school when he was 12. He lived with Penguin families and worked for his meal and room. At 13, he moved to Kansas. When George graduated from high school, he earned a scholarship to go to Highland University in Kansas. When he arrived after college, however, the school turned him away because he was black. Carver was unhappy, but he did not give up learning. He farmed and taught himself to paint. His friends told him to try a different calling. He went to Simpson College in Iowa to study art. This time, the college accepted him, making a difference. Carver liked Simpson's College, but he wanted to help others more. He decided to study agriculture, the sciences of farming at Iowa State Agricultural College. He was the school's first black graduate. He later became the school's first black professor. In 1896, George moved to Alabama and began teaching at Tuskegee University. He taught there for 47 years. Professor Carver wanted to help the farmer in Alabama with a beef problem. Each year the crops were smaller and the farmers struggled more and more. Carver quickly realized that year of growing cotton had worn out the soil. The farmer barely made enough money to buy food, so they had no money to buy fertilizer that would help the plant. Professor Carver taught the farmer that dead leaves and swamp muck could be added to the soil and free fertilizer. Planting with potatoes, peanut in the field after the cotton was picked also helped the soil. These crops put important nutrients back in the soil. After they were used by cotton plant, Carver set out information about how to grow and cook these crops. By eating them, farmers spend less money buying food and from straw. Farmers also need a way to sell the new crops. So Professor Carver became an inventor. He invented more than 100 ways to use sweet potatoes and 300 ways to use peanuts. The truth about peanut butter. Carver invented up to 300 news for the peanut. Peppermint grease, medicine, peanut coffee, peanut massage, peanut flour, peanut milk, fruit pollen, mesh, sandpaper, and more. Contrary to Papa Beth, however, he did not create peanut butter. Hundreds of years ago, the insects from Central Mexico are known to have eaten a paste made from peanuts. He escaped from Peru did the same thing even earlier. It wasn't as creamy as the tasty good we eat today. No. Ideas are free. By 1921, people are listening to Carver ideas. He was asked to speak before the U.S. Congress. The country lawmaker, some member of Congress saw and make fun of him. He had been given 10 minutes to talk, though he made the most of them. Carver talked about all the things that would be made with the tiny peanut. The man fell silent, and Carver's 10 minutes were up. They gave him more time. In the end, they passed a law that helped the U.S. peanut farmers. The law changed other countries more money to sell goods, such as peanuts in the United States. Over the years, Carver became as famous as many celebrities are today. Crowds gathered to hear him speak. He turned down jobs and more money became. He thought helping people was more important. He believed that ideas were free and should be free given. A last message. George Washington Carver died in 1943 at the age of 78. He believed that people should treat each other with consideration. He won the respect of the nation at a time when few black people got much respect at all. He graduated and has stayed late long after his death.